rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Thursday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. This morning, I want to throw back to what we had yesterday at the 3 Business Thought Leadership Program. There were 3 senior citizens: Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, in fact, Captain Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, and Mr. Kwame Pienim. And all 3 of them painted the picture of the Republic of Ghana. They were not so happy, if you asked them. And if you watched, you would have noticed that all the 3 gentlemen who have lived and actually saw how Ghana gained independence and all of that were not too excited about the state of affairs of a country. The president of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, also lived through those periods. In fact, he might be younger than some of them, but he lived through the period. And he saw better. So the question, sometimes maybe the elderly do not want to ask, but the question we ask is, how was it done in the past? And how is it being done now? And what is the missing link? Because I've told you consistently, because of the privilege I had to interview their Ahoys, right? I read their book. I used 2 days to read the full book and interviewed them, all 8. When I had the introduction and everything else, I saw in the book how the president at the time, as a student of the University of Ghana, benefited from breakfast, lunch, and supper with snack at 4 p.m. every day, and also on Wednesdays had a full-course dinner. That's where the term akapompo came from, academic pomposity. So it's shocking that you have people who have gone through these things, these experiences, enjoyed breakfast, lunch, and supper with snack paid for by the state, to be tormenting children with unnecessary and unthinkable things. And we cannot give the children textbooks. And because of that, we are trying to revert to the old curriculum that we claim to have moved away from. We have been irresponsible. And this is supervised by Dr. Duchum, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe, and all the people at the Ministry of Education. We don't have money to buy textbooks, but we have money to dig the foundation for a so-called national cathedral. We don't have money to do the basic necessaries of life. We complain about everything. Check how much we have sunk into the national cathedral. And it is because it is the president's personal promise to God. We were not there when he made that promise to God, that God, give me power and I will give you a cathedral. We were not there. How we switched from personal cathedral to national cathedral. And this is the man who told us he will protect the public purse. Now, the revelations are beginning to come in. They are coming out. The revelations are beginning to come out. Presidential staffer has $114,000 in her home. A minister of state, cabinet minister for that matter, who was also caretaker minister for the gender, children, and social protection ministry, where children were lying on their bellies, school feeding program was in shambles and all of that. The gender minister was keeping money in her home. And we had a cock and bull story that it's money belonging to funeral donations, cosmetic, all the explanation that we're giving for it. And then when we came to tell you, there are sources that we found money, or monies were found in the home of Madame Cecilia Dapa, we're told that, oh, it's a lie, it's fake news. I saw gray-haired people in this country sharing that. Now the OSP has come to confirm that when they did that search, they found money there. Eggs in your face. Play Mr. Kwame Pienim's video for me.
We're going to mobilize resources, revenue mobilization. It is very difficult to increase tax revenue when companies are distressed. And a lot of our companies are distressed. Let me give you an example. If you have a company, we call something shareholders' funds. It means the monies that shareholders could have taken out as dividends, which they didn't take. They left in the company. If you have shareholders' funds of 50 million Ghana cedis, when the cedi was 5 to the dollar, that is $10 million.
Yes.
Now it's 10, it's 5. If you have a foreign partner, how do you tell him that you've lost $5 million just like this? Let's take long-term savings, which is what we need to mobilize to get the economy going for infrastructure. That's what everybody does. Pensions, they are about 40 billion Ghana cedis. 40 billion Ghana cedis at 5 to 1. That's $8 billion we are talking about.
Yes.
But 10 to 1, what is that? It's 4 billion. The teachers' fund, which I heard them set up, but now should be about a $2 billion fund. Can you imagine the teachers with $2 billion fund, what they can do? Take the cedi depreciation. It's not even $1 billion. So monies are disappearing. So if you have a foreign company in Ghana, they have an incentive to declare dividends quarterly to take their money out. Because if I take the 5 million Ghana cedis out now, or 10 million, I have $1 million. I can leave it there and bring it back when the cedi gets to 20 and bring it. And Ghanaians don't realize, when I was a young man, I bought insurance. I said at the end of 10, 15 years, I can then build a house, $100,000. At the end of the period, I got 100,000, which would have been equivalent to $100,000. The cedi has depreciated to 300 cedis to 1. What did I get? $3,000 Ghana dollars. It couldn't even build an outhouse. So if you are running an economy where there's a rapid depreciation of your currency, you are making it difficult for people to save.
Right.
You are making it difficult for your pension funds to move so that you can use it for building infrastructure, because that is a long-term savings.
That was Mr. Kwame Pianim, respected economist. And he put the matter out there the way it has to be put out. The way those who manage our economy do not like to hear it said. Because the finance minister is still believing his own narrative that we have turned the corner. Yesterday, Mr. Pianim told him, we have not turned the corner. We are actually not even on the road. In any serious country, Mr. Furiata and the governor of the Bank of Ghana will not have their jobs. But we are not a serious country. Because now, because of the situation in Niger, we are all talking about how we're going to get onions and that the price of onions will be increased. Meanwhile, in 2021, the president stood in parliament, checked the Hansard, and told us that we are now a net exporter of food, basic food like tomatoes and onion. And while he was busy telling us that there were tomato importers locked up at the Burkina Faso border and they asked for protection, and the president gave direction to his minister for national security and his minister for interior to provide them protection, and he went to protect them. Calamity of contradictions. Play Dr. Baumea's video for me.
Just so baffled. You, a president, you have presided in 8 years over the collapse of our economy. If you knew the plan that could work for the economy and be successful, why haven't you implemented that plan in 8 years? Why? What can work for our economy? Why is the economy collapsing in your hands after 8 years?
That was Dr. Baumia. He was asking John Mahama that question. That if you had the magic wand and you knew what would make the economy work, why aren't you saving the economy? Today, Dr. Baumia and the 9 others are preaching change to us. And I've told you before that this government came into power on the note of change and actually brought a hope campaign. I interviewed them here in the studio. Now, Dr. Bawumia is telling us that if you had a different plan, why wouldn't you use that plan to kick it in? This is where President Akufo-Addo needs Dr. Bawumia's plan. Because we went to the IMF on a stretcher. We had a wrong pair of hands managing our situation. Play Dr. Nyawo close video for me.
And I can say anything. No one can do anything to me. What I'm saying, others cannot say. And what hurts me is that the younger ones coming are not learning from the mistakes of some of the leaders at the moment, but they are copying the mistakes. I can't see how somebody leaves university. Within the first year, he gets into politics. And within less than 2 years, he amasses wealth. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. You follow me? Now, if that continues, so to me, the economic problem we have now, as I said, with Kwame here, I don't have a problem. Well, he will explain that. The economic problems we have here now is as a result of monies being siphoned out of the country.
Money
by politicians.
Siphoned by politicians.
Absolutely. If they bring the money back, this country will have its peace.
Politicians are siphoning money out.
I am saying that. But you know it. You see, you journalists at times I blame me because you know the wrong thing going on and you fail to talk. Some of you have been bought by the government, not this government alone. That is what happens. That you fail to talk. People we have been at the forefront to defend this nation, who are journalists now, the way we knew them, they are totally different now.
What are the people you're talking about?
Leave that to me.
Setting up industries without linkages, you know, I mean, you can compare it to what Nkrumah did. If you are industrializing, you do things that will help you improve upon what you are doing in future, so that there will be linkages. And Nkrumah set up a glass factory in Abosu, and he knew that he was going to get the raw material, the sand from Zima, which was quite close. But he did not have the time. Think about the Sanyo factory in Tema, for example. We would just assemble radios without thinking about the next thing, building transistors and doing those things in this country. Then it is not industrialization. So if we set up a factory to process juice and you don't think about the next step, so what next?
What next? That's the question the good professor asked. And the questions will be asked, but the answers will never come. Because the government is very dismissive. The questions will come, but the answers will never come because the government is dismissive. Can somebody tell me why Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo was suspended from the NPP? Because he spoke truth to power? Was that why he was suspended? And what he said about monies being siphoned out of the country, and that if all those monies were brought back, we'll be comfortable. Put together how much we lost by the Auditor General's report. And tell me if what we are before the IMF begging and bending and sleeping on the floor and erasing all our dignity as a country is not more than what we're begging from the IMF for. Mr. Kwame Pianim, respected founding member of the NPP, he says he's called the finance minister. He doesn't pick his calls. But when we talk about industrial input, we all know that Mr. Ofori-Atta, in terms of industrial input and how so far he has conducted himself at the finance ministry, is not at par with what Mr. Kwame Pianim knows. You know it. It's not a Harvard and Yale and all those ones. He calls you, you don't pick the call. Why was Professor Frimpong Boateng chased out after the first term? This is a good son of the Republic. He is a record holder. Today he has been chased out. He has been chased out. Why? The pathologists in the Ashanti region, and I will start showing you that documentary. The pathologists in the Ashanti region start telling us that children are being born without genitalia. Children are being born with all manner of deformities because of galamsey. The basic things that we have to do for the people, we don't do. Show me that road from Esikuba Dobin Brakwa. Show me.
Yo, and you know, there is the current state of Odobin Brakwa Road. Odobin Brakwa Road. You hear the Kwana Aye. Yeah, to tell you a slab by. And I'm penny for what's wrong. One boy, young fight. Now, yeah, play Odobin Road. Any anamisi. A Kwana teacher pants and cry. In the car into me in Pahon. And the passer of a super from Musia. On my guy. As I say, Kwana say, cry, potus. I did that Kwana son. I don't know who. Yes, I buy in Babuay. Next, I am Kwan Kakri. Just 9 kilometers from Brakwa to Odobin. And a Kwan near Atia Pansamisi. That you tell us, I say, on Babuay.
So this is Odobin Brakwa Road. The road around the PC Appeal Fori, anti-graft campaigner proper. He also said he called the president. The president doesn't pick his calls. Basic things, year of roads, second year of road, another year of road. Look at their road. And these are farmers. We will go to them to go and campaign. We will do everything to find them a ballot box to vote. We will do everything in our power to make sure that the people cast their votes, and we'll go every step to go and campaign to them. But look at the road they are driving on. Look at it. Look at the road. Show the video again. Look at the road. Such an embarrassment. Look at it. So embarrassing, so disgraceful. Look at it. Good morning.